Hello everyone, it's Catherine from my hillside garden. Today we're up in the upper bed and I'm going to try something new. I've been watching a new channel. It's called Robbie and Gary. They're located in California and they do things a little bit differently. And they also do a lot of permaculture. Wyatt, go on. They also do a lot of permaculture. So I thought I'd give this a try because it seems like something that'll help me with my squash this year. Remember those buckets I got for free? Well, what I did was I drilled some holes along the side. So they're probably about 2 inches or so up. Wyatt wants to help today. Sit. And what this does is it allows this bucket to be almost like a self-watering bucket, because it'll hold the water up to this point. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I went around the garden. A lot of my radishes went to seed because it got so hot. So I'm just going to take these and put them in the bottom. That way, as they decay, it'll be like composting in place. And that'll be good for the plant because it'll help to feed the plant also. So I'm just going to break these and put them in the bottom because this is what I had a lot of. And then we're going to put some compost in here. We're also going to dig a hole so that way we can bury the bucket at least down that far, or almost down that far. And that way any of the excess water will go into the bed and feed the bed as well. Isn't that a cool idea? I thought that was really great. I'm going to put a link to their channel so you can see exactly how Robbie does it. I might be doing it a tiny bit different than she does, and I want you to be sure to see how she does it. I wanted to be sure that you got a good bird's eye view of this. So what I did was I dug a hole about the size of the container. Now I think what I'm going to do is put this in the direction so that it'll flow down toward the tomato plants that we have planted here. And that hopefully will help to feed them, as well as the am I doing the moringa? I think the spaghetti squash. I have small spaghetti squash for this one. So, and also, as you can see with the ground, we have tons of worms here. This I had to dig up. As I said, this is one of the beds that we used kind of like a hugel. We just buried some of the branches and things from the trees we had cut and put there. So I have the leaves from the radishes in here right now, and I did take some of the soil out. I'm going to push this soil back. Push this soil back. And I think we're going to leave those holes just opened enough to allow them to let that moisture that might build up in there to flow out. We'll put the rest of the soil into the bucket, and I'll bring you back when I have the plant. I put some of the free compost that we get into the bucket. I didn't fill it up all the way. Oh, come on, Mr. Leaf, get out of my way. There we go. And this is, I actually have 2 spaghetti squash plants that I want to put in here. I know squash grows really well up here, and these are well on their way. The root system looks very nice. Ooh. Oh, okay. Remember, they were in the toilet paper rolls. So let's get those in there. I want to be careful not to break them. We're going to set them in, and then what I have that I'm going to put on top is some of the leaf mulch. Okay. And we're just going to lift these up gently. I'm going to be sure to water this in very well so that I'm sure the ground is nice and moist. I don't want the leaf mulch right up on the stems. So we have to be a little careful. And those are a little bit odd right now because they stayed too long in the pot. But that's how we're gonna do the spaghetti squash and see how we make it out with that. I have to say that until you've tried to get your tripod at the right angle to get what you're doing, it can be hilarious. So you can't see the bucket, but at least you can see me. Here are the tomato plants on this side of the upper bed. And again, I have the bucket with the holes in it. I'm going to direct those holes. Oh, this one only has one. I have to go make some holes. I'll be right back. I put 2 more holes in here, so there are a total of 3 altogether. And I'm going to direct those to flow down this way toward the... One good thing about gnats flying around, you usually swallow several a year. Oh, brother. What I chose to put in the bottom of this bucket was some of the comfrey that I grow. I have a number of plants. It is not sterile comfrey, so I had to be sure that all of the flower heads were off. And I have a pair of scissors with me, and I'm just going to cut this and put it in the bottom because this will act like our fertilizer as it decomposes, and it will feed the squash as well as the tomatoes. So we got a fair amount of those in there, but you know what? I want a little bit more, and I have some borage over here by the apple tree. I'm gonna go get some of those leaves. I want to show you something, and I'm not exactly sure which type of bug it is, but these little cases, little eggs, get them in there. These little eggs were on the comfrey leaves. I'm not sure what bug will do that, but a lot of times you'll find, oh yes, little sparrow. A lot of times you'll find egg cases like that. I hope that's in focus. It's so hard to see at the moment because of the way the sun is. Okay, all right. Then we got the borage, and we're gonna put that in here. Borage is a great biodynamic accumulator. It will bring up minerals and things from in your soil, and that's part of the reason why I grow it. It's also a great pollinator plant. So, and it smells like cucumber. From what I've never eaten it. Apparently the leaves you can brew in tea, and when the leaves are small enough, they're not quite so hairy, or the hairs aren't so abrasive. You can see the hairs on there. Can you see the hairs? Anyway, here is our moringa. It is a smaller, there's the spelling. It's a smaller squash. This year I'm growing a number of smaller squashes since it's just my husband and I to eat. So that way we have just one meal of something and we don't have to worry about too many leftovers. Nice set of roots on there. This was also done in a tube, and I do plan to put the 2 in there, and I need to go get some more dirt to put in the bucket. I had to go get, I didn't have any more compost up in the yard, and there are no steps for me to bring it up. So what I did was I had some of the black cow and some potting mix, and that's what we're putting in here because that's what I have. So I don't know, maybe this one will do a little bit better because of that, but that's okay. Now I do have the holes directed toward the tomato plants. That way they'll receive the benefit of anything coming out. And I'm going to put some leaves in the top, give it a good water, and call it good to go. I hope the sound was okay on this video. If you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. I'm sorry there were so many stops and starts. Didn't do my planning well enough. Thought I had everything ready. So give me a thumbs up. Follow along for my journey with this type of in-place composting and growing your own food. Have a great day. Happy gardening.